Well, today we want to practice the spiritual discipline of slowing down. And you might be wondering, I've never heard of that as a spiritual practice before. Well, I love what Mark 6:31 says. Then, because so many people were coming and going, that they, the disciples, did not have a chance to eat. And so Jesus said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." What an invitation. In those simple words, Jesus made slowing down a spiritual practice. I love what Peter Crift said. If you can't take time to do nothing, you're a slave to doing. Doing nothing is a radical, revolutionary act. It frees you from the universal slavery of our age, slavery to the clock. The clock measures doing, but not being. Slowing down is one way to overcome the hurriedness that we feel internally, our addiction to busyness and production. It's in slowing that we can be present to this moment. I remember hearing about the mother of a 4-year-old girl who was hurrying her daughter to get ready and to get out the door. And the little girl said to her mom, "Mommy, stop. Why are we always in a hurry when we never go anywhere important?" Sometimes hurry gets in the way of the important, doesn't it? So how do you feel when, just to kind of ask yourself these questions, how do you feel when you get stuck behind a car that's going too slowly? Or you end up in the slow checkout line, or behind some children who are dawdling, right? One author wrote, "We certainly don't become better people in haste. More likely than not, the faster we go, the less we become." Slowing builds margins into our lives. It's saying no to maybe what the world or the business or the bottom line says is important. Lately, I've been driving the speed limit, which is a little unusual for me, on the Parkway in particular. And I've been doing it on purpose. And so I get in the right lane, I set the cruise to 45 miles per hour, and I drive to the other end of town. And I just kind of enjoy the journey, the honking, the one finger waves. It makes me laugh that going the speed limit is too slow these days, right? And so maybe slowing for you is getting more sleep or speaking more slowly. Maybe it's sitting longer at the table after a meal, or maybe planning 5 or 10 minutes between meetings to take a few deep breaths. I love what Dallas Willard suggests, that Jesus saw his work in the lives of his followers as urgent, and yet he pursued it patiently. And so we can have this sense of urgency, but also live patient lives. And I think that's what slowing does for us. Here's a couple questions I want you to think about for a few minutes today. First, I want you to ask yourself, are you addicted to hurry, to the rush, the adrenaline that you get? And what would it look like for you to choose to do things more slowly today? One of the things I learned from my mentor, Ken Johnson, was that when an important decision needed to be made, he would almost always say, "Let's just take a minute." And he would close his eyes, take a few deep breaths, and he would sit in silence for as long as he wanted. And it was a practice of slowing down, waiting, letting your soul catch up to the moment. So I want us to practice. I want you to close your eyes right now, just like Pastor Ken taught me. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take a couple of deep breaths. I want you to slow down, to stop hurrying, getting to your day, trying to rush things. And I want you to practice today just slowing down. Maybe it's driving a little bit slower. Maybe it's creating some margins in between meetings. Maybe it's just taking a few deep breaths in the middle of your day. But make it a practice. Make it a practice to slow down. Love you all. Have a great week.